Hello everyone, this is Reggie, the appliance repair nerd, coming to you again with another repair, and this is on a Kenmore 400 series, but this repair applies to any direct drive washer, which is Whirlpool, Roper, Kenmore, etc., etc. Basically, if it looks like this, this setup, that's pretty much a Whirlpool brand product. So on this one, this is a machine I got to refurbish. I bought it for 20 bucks and I resell them for about 180 to 200, give a 4-month warranty and also delivery. So on this particular one, it's humming. So this is highly misdiagnosed, where most people think it could be the lid switch, but before you splice your lid switch and do all that other stuff, if it's not draining water out, not spinning, it could be this. Watch. So let's put it directly on spin. Pull it. Not sure if you guys can hear that, but there's a humming noise. So with that humming noise, basically indicates that the motor is trying to move, but is seized up. Now, most likely it isn't a bad motor. That's very rare. It happens though, but it's very rare. Most likely something is keeping it from seizing up. If I were a gambling man, I would say there's something stuck in the pump. Usually it's like a baby sock or something like that. So typically this is what happens. You put clothes inside your washer. If you put it in if you put water in first and then throw your clothes in, that's the way this can happen, because your clothes are not saturated with water, so they're floating to the top of the tub and basically floats in this gap here, which is the gap between the outer and inner tub. Gets in there, goes behind the tub and gets stuck inside the pump. Typically, baby socks, toddler socks, that will happen. So let's verify. So first thing we need to do is take off, first thing we need to do is unplug it, of course. Safety first. Next thing we do, okay, so this one, I work on so many things. So on this particular one, you'll either have screws here on some Whirlpool products, screws here on some Whirlpool products, but on this particular one, there's no screws. So what do? That means you have to putty knife it, because there's probably just a clamp in there. So you can take this putty knife, or you can take a type of spatula, or even a screwdriver, which is kind of tough. A butter knife would be more ideal. So anyway, you push this in, you can feel it bouncing around. So you push it in and lift up. Does it on one side, and that sound doesn't sound good, but that's what it does. The other side, and voila. And so the next tool you will need is a screwdriver. So you need a screwdriver, and these are the housing clamps for your washer. Again, if you have a Whirlpool product, direct drive, the setup is just like this on all of them, except for obviously getting the top off. So that goes back, and let's show you around the house a little bit here. You've got a timer, and this is your pressure pump, and this controls the water level. I'm sorry, water temperature, excuse me. This is your lid switch, and this typically burns out too, so if for some reason you're not getting humming and the washer just won't go into the spin cycle, typically these burn out a lot. And you'll unplug this, which you gotta do anyway. In there you usually see like a burn cinder mark on the ground wire, which is the green wire. This one is good though. And you can always test it out by doing a jumper, which is you take another wire and you connect the two power wires, which is your yellow and your gray. Don't connect to the green, that's grounder. That's a grounder. And if it starts up, then you know it's this, which I also sell on my website. So you can check that out. I got a link below on my website to show you exactly, to give you exactly what you need and fast shipping. So you take these off, just pull out. You use a screwdriver, Phillip head, anything that's long and pointy comes out. Let's put your parts somewhere you can find them. And I've got a video also on how to take off the cabinets and also how to put them back on. Because if you never put one of these back on, you will be sweating and throwing your tools. So be sure to look for that. Now the pump can also get accessed by lifting up the washer, but for someone who's never, someone who's never done this before, this is the best way. It's less frustrating, and it's a lot easier as far as accessing the pump itself. So this is how we can actually test if it's the pump. I'm gonna tilt this back and then show you guys. Right underneath, that is the coupler. So if you turn that coupler with your hand, which I'm about to do, and if it's not moving at all, then you know something is jammed up. So this is how you take off the pump. Use your finger or use a screwdriver to get those clamps. Remove it, and go back again and turn your coupler, and yep, the coupler is spinning. So that means this pump was preventing the motor, which is that here, from spinning. See, now it spins nice and free. So that is your problem. So let me try to take that off. Nice little handy tool. If you guys are appliance repair people or new in the business, highly recommend this. If you're a homeowner and this is a one-off thing, then you want to grab some towels because you're going to have water. Grab towels or have a second person hold this, pinch this hose for you. So this is a nice little tool I have in my tool bag to keep water from being on customer's floor. Now I still do need a towel to keep the water from spilling all over the place. So let me go grab that. Alright, so we have our towel underneath in place. You can also, if you have a very small bucket, this thing moves around a little bit, so you kind of drop that into like a low profile bucket too. If you have it clamped, because you won't have that much water. But if you don't have it clamped, you need a pretty big bucket to hold all the water. So you basically remove these clamps. And if we remove it, I'm going to actually show you how to unrestrict the pump. Excuse the camera work, I'm kind of holding it and doing this at the same time. And got a little water on the floor, but I'm in my shop, so I don't care. It'll dry up. So, and let's see what kind of prize we have in here now. Oh, it looks like a black sock. So I'm going to show you guys how to remove that black sock. You actually can do this without replacing the pump. But I do sell these pumps on my website. If you decide you do need one, there's a reason why too, because you see that little streak right there. So it's showing this pump does leak a little bit, so I'm going to replace the pump. But I'm going to show you how to remove the obstruction before I do that. So, but if you don't have that line right there, then feel free to go ahead and replace your pump. Go ahead and just remove the obstruction and put the old pump back on. And that might have been a one-off leak, I don't know. But because I'm selling this thing, I'm going to go ahead and just replace it. So let me show you guys how to take off the obstruction. Alright, I had to get this thing at camera angle and have both my hands. So Takes a pair of needle nose pliers. Now you don't want to yank on this thing because you don't want to break the fabric. I usually start off with a wider part of the pump. Put my needle nose in there. Get a good solid grip on it, and then you pull it. And I want to pull it out enough where I can actually twist this thing. Oh, actually, this thing is not. There we go. Hang on. Get you out of there. Yeah, it's going to fight you a little bit. I'll use a pump housing to. Alright, so once you got a little bit out of there, set it up just like this and twist. And you don't have to use no muscle. You don't have to muscle it out or anything. Just twist. And that thing will yank right out of there. Up, 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 up. Starting to lose the threads. And just twist, twist. It looks like I'm losing it. Alright, hang on. Try it again. Didn't have enough meat. Alright, I got a stubborn one. Let's try it from the short end. Depends on which way this thing is jammed in here. Nope, short end won't, needle nose won't fit, won't clamp. I might have to muscle this one out. Usually a little twist motion actually does it. Of course, it wants to fight me on the day I want to record one of these. It's alright. I always win. It's a little challenge, but I always win. Alright, now if you have a stubborn one, you stick your needle nose in there and twist while it's in there. Because like it's more on that short side, and my needle nose pliers are just so too big. Unless you have some smaller ones that can fit in there and actually open and grab. So, I'm going to try to yank it over a little bit more. This one really got jammed in there. Yank and pull. So twist and pull. Alright, now we're just shredding the socket part. There we go. It's coming over, huh? So you grab and twist. I promise you, usually it's not this difficult. Usually it's a little baby Timmy sock and it comes right on out. Ah, there you go. Jeez Louise, that one fought me. Always win. Always win. Undefeated. So there it is. So if you don't have a water, I don't wiped it off now. But if you see a line, a water stain right here, go ahead and replace your pump. I do offer them on my website. We all your orders we do express shipping. Also helps me keep giving valuable information, so I appreciate the support. Again, there's a link below. It's called AppliancePulledParts.com. Is my website. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a question below. I try to answer all questions within 24 hours. Questions, suggestions, there's other texts out there. If you know an easier way, feel free to share. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So that's it. Thank you for listening.